Hey guys, welcome to Song Story. Today we have Dan Goodright here with us. It's such a pleasure to have you, bro.
Hey, bro. Great to be here.
So we are going to be chatting about your debut single, Pour Out My Life. I mean, this is amazing. Amazing.
Kind.
Before we get into that, let's find out more about you, bro. So tell us about, when did Dan Goodright become Dan Goodright? When did you start singing? When did you start creating music? Tell us about that journey.
Yeah. So I'd say I started singing like just at home in the family house. Like mum would always have a U2 CD on or something. I'd just sing around the house. And then I think just growing up, I gradually like started doing more singing at school and stuff. And like people were like, oh, you can sing. And so I was like, oh, really? And eventually like started doing stuff at church as well. And that kind of led to doing a gap year and like taking a year at a church called HTB in London, doing all sorts of serving there and like worship, singing stuff. And then came to uni. I now like study liberal arts with history, lots of essays, gotta love it. Final year, so dissertation's underway.
Wow.
And like lead worship up at Soul Survivor Watford now, just with the team there. And yeah, it's been a great journey. Like God's been so kind.
Wow.
I started writing when I was about 16, and yeah, my first song was awful. That's not the one we put out. But yeah, it's been a total journey, man. It's been a total journey.
That's amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, faith has been such a great part of your journey and obviously is.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about what faith actually does mean to you and that whole process of faith? Yeah.
I think it's totally been a journey. Like I grew up in church, going along just because that's like what my family did. But it became my own around the time when I was like 13. I just moved schools and like was going through a bit of a rough time and like really found God. Like, and that sounds very abstract and very weird, but he's very real. It's very tangible. It's a tangible thing. And yeah, got to know him. And so faith day to day looks like trusting in him, trusting in someone bigger than myself, trusting that he's going to look after me, that he's going to provide for me, and that he's ultimately like sovereign. He's got the whole world like in his hands, like he knows what's going on. So in that sense, it gives me a peace that I otherwise wouldn't have, and I start every day from a place of knowing that I'm known and that I'm loved. I think that's a wonderful way to live life, knowing those things, and to live from that place and to live out of that place.
Wow. And that song flows from a place of faith. So pouring out my life.
Yeah.
I mean, the line of the chorus says, I pour out my life as you did for mine. So from my perspective, that's sacrifice, that's giving of yourself. I mean, in this era, in this world, in this generation we live in, I mean, those are great messages we want to be put out in the world, that, you know, of sacrifice and thinking of others and giving ourselves for other people. And so what does that mean to you, and how is that translated in the song and how you wrote it?
Yeah, I feel like it's just been a journey. It's like the song almost documents what I've been learning over the last few years of faith and walking with God. I think, you know, God's love language is obedience. And Jesus, when he was on earth, told us two things, like to love God and to love other people. And that's like the two main things that we're called to do. And so I think, you know, it looks like giving of yourself to love others. And thinking practically, I think, you know, in our generation, we think so much about ourselves. It's iPhone, it's all about selfie, it's all about me. And so actually, what does it look like to live a life that's like poured out for others, that's giving, both to the church, but also to the wider world? Because God says, you know, God so loved the world, not God so loved the church, you know. So we're called to go out, we're called to love others. And so this song's just a reflection of that call to be obedient to him, to love him. And the song talks a lot about him because he's worthy, but also it talks about, you know, going out and making a difference in the world.
Wow. How long did it take you to write it?
Yeah, a while. So I got the chorus like in like an hour in like August 2018. But then from then till completing it, it was like 18 months. My good friend Tom Smith helped me out, just like editing that. Jacob Woods, my sister, different people inputting and saying like, oh, I'm not sure that quite sits right. And so it's been a process, you know, it's been refined over the years. And but yeah, happy with how it's turned out. Willie Weeks worked his magic and produced the full version. It sounds pretty huge. So Yeah, man.
That's
been
amazing.
great.
I mean, in that songwriting process, it's quite vulnerable, isn't it? Like, I can imagine writing a song and you can just put it out there in the world and people could be like, oh, you know what, Dan, I'm not really feeling that, or I'm not really feeling this, or actually it's quite this, or it's quite bad. So how are you able to kind of be able to be vulnerable and release and just be yourself in the world?
Yeah. I mean, I think it starts from a place of knowing that the song's not about me. It's about him. And so in that sense, I'm not having to prove anything. And this song isn't meant to be like a career launch. It's not meant to be about me at all. It's just that I want to put out music that equips the church to be able to worship and maybe to like grasp different elements of what it means to walk this faith for people, for themselves, you know. So in that sense, that takes a pressure off. Like, it's not on me to like succeed. And so, yeah, but I think it also takes, you know, great friends around you to like cheer you on and to be like, oh no, this is good enough, you know, you've done a good job or whatever. So yeah, I'd say trusting in God and then having good people around you makes all the difference.
I think that's amazing. So we'll leave it right there. Thank you so much for joining us. A massive thank you to Dan.
Thank you, Emmanuel D. White. What a legend.
What an amazing song. I'm so glad that we get to hear it. We are going to go to the acoustic session now with Dan Goodwright and the team.
Thanks so much.
You never said following was easy, but God, you promised to be with me, so I trust you to lead me, Lord. God, reveal your plans in motion, and I will join with hands wide open, living life for your glory, Lord. You are the way, the truth, the life, Jesus our Savior, Lord Most High. Death was defeated at the cross. I pour out my life as you did for mine. I pour out my life as you did for mine. You deserve my every moment. I'm giving back my all in worship. You are worthy of all my praise. You deserve my every moment. I'm giving back my all in worship. You are worthy of all my praise. You are the way, the truth, the life, Jesus our Savior, Lord Most High. Death was defeated at the cross. I pour out my life as you did for mine. I pour out my life as you did for mine. Oh, pour it out to you, Jesus. Take everything I have and everything I am. You are holy, you are worthy, you are light in the darkness, always leading, never leaving. Jesus, you're guiding me through.